team lead, as well as the hiring and leadership development strategist here at Tap the Potential, joined by our host, lead strategist of Tap the Potential, Melissa Kay. It's wonderful to see you on the podcast. It's been too long, Melissa.
It's been a while, Caitlin.
It sure has. And we have such an incredible topic to dig into today. And I want you to think about what separates the business owners who thrive versus those who stay stuck. After coaching hundreds of business owners, we've noticed something so surprising. It isn't the business owners who work the hardest, who have the best idea, it isn't even those who have the most experience. So, as we dig in today, Melissa, I'm curious. I would love to start with some of the mindset shifts that we need to know about for sustainable growth.
So, the mindset shifts that we see successful business owners do are not what you think. It's going to sound counterintuitive. Um, really, these mindset shifts include being working less.
Mhm.
So, when I have business owners who are working too many hours, they are so overwhelmed. And, it's really opposite of what we're taught. We're taught to hustle, right? And I feel like we're still celebrated by working too much and having these big, massive teams when truthfully, working less really creates some limits. And when you create limits, it's going to allow you to look for opportunities to innovate. So, one thing that's really important is creating sacred time to take care of yourself before you take care of your team and your business, and really honoring that space and creating opportunities when you're not in front of whatever it is that you do constantly. So, you want to step away from your business, step away from your laptop, step away from your customers and clients, and really spend some time just thinking. My most valuable time, Caitlin, with Tap the Potential is my thinking time. So the more I can create opportunities to have space and use that strategic thinking, the more areas where I'm going to grow and improve our program. So that's really important. And another mindset shift is really focusing on $10,000 an hour activities where you're working from your strengths and only doing those things that are in your natural zone of genius and that can produce those high level results as the business owner. So, if you're still performing tasks such as reading your email, for example, maybe it's writing a blog post, maybe it's doing your own bookkeeping. If you're doing activities that other people could do for you, then you're keeping yourself stuck in what we call survival mode, right? And when you're in that survival mode, when you're in the survival trap, you're being very reactive rather than being proactive in your business.
Right.
So, here's some symptoms to look for if you're in the survival trap. Maybe you are looking for ways to make payroll, so you're taking any kind of client or customer work that may come in just so that you can have some money in the bank. Maybe you're catering to certain clients, delivering, over delivering, or delivering according to expectations that really aren't aligned, or working with people who aren't really reflecting your core values. And the survival trap is a place where we just go to our business and it runs us, right? We're just really stuck. And that's one thing that is really important for us to step back and evaluate and say, am I working for my strengths? Am I working realistic hours? And then, am I in the survival trap that's keeping my business and my team and my customers and clients stuck?
And I see it time and time again. We have the Better Business, Better Life assessment that so many people, so many business owners or leaders will go in and fill out. And what's interesting is, of course, there's this correlation towards those who haven't taken any time off in their business, those who work all hours of the day. And I don't want you to think necessarily it's doing tasks inside the business. Sometimes it's just thinking about the business endlessly, never letting, always problem solving in your mind. Like your family's having dinner and you're sitting there thinking about something that might have happened with a client or a team member and trying to work through that. It's all these pieces. But when I talk to people about their burnout scores, and a burnout score from the assessment is really when we're looking at your health and your well being in relation to your business. Those who are working 50 hours or more aren't taking any time off, and time off doesn't just mean vacation. I want you to really think about the times where you go home and you can't put your phone down instead of having dinner with family. Or maybe it's turning things off in the weekends so that you can spend time together. It's summer, right? We should all be out living life and enjoying family, the people that we love so much. It's those little things that we see, and these symptoms, as they start to compound over time, we realize that it's tied to constantly being on, constantly putting out fires, constantly feeling this intrinsic need to keep showing up for a business that's completely running you ragged. And what was really interesting that you said, Melissa, was thinking time. And I think that so many times when I'm in conversations with business owners who are doing so much work, and they will self-proclaim all I do is work, when we actually peel back the onion of what work they are doing, it's typically things that are not within their zone of genius, moving the business forward, or even lighting them up anymore. We all start our business for some reason. We have a why, we have a driver. So it's interesting to see how the more that we work, the more creeps up in our business systems, gaps, opportunities for growth that we just don't truly see because we're so stuck in work harder, work more, keep pushing, be a soldier, keep moving.
Yeah. It's, one thing that is so important that we often neglect to do because we don't want to do it as entrepreneurs. We like to be in control, and that's why we're in business most of the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
But conducting time audits is really important.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be focused on the 20% of what we do that gets 80% of the results and let the rest go. And so many times we just have so many things on our plate that really aren't the most important things to do. So, in that, what the best business owners are doing are saying, okay, what can I let go of or give to somebody else? Because when you delegate something, and I get it, delegation is challenging, because you don't always feel like your team has a capacity or it's going to take you time to train them. You can keep presenting the buts or the ors or the ands or the ifs all day long. The bottom line is when you delegate, you give people a gift because it becomes their opportunity to show up and serve in your business and help you push the vision forward that you have for your business. So that's another thing. This is a habit that business owners do that helps you create stronger teams and have better leadership. And it's that you do have a vision as a business owner. So that when people come up on your bus, when they're on board, they know where you're going. Because if not, then they don't know what the destination is for your company or for their role inside the company. So
Right.
having that vision is so important so that they can see what it is they're actually there to do. And once you have that vision and you're conducting regular one-to-one meetings with your team members, and this is going to help you to build them up into leaders,
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
And
The only way that our business grows in a sustainable way is if we have connections and if we're talking to our team members, if we're understanding what's working well, what's not working well. When we foster the growth of what we know are top talent, or we call them A players that tap the potential, when we know we have those team members, we foster their growth, it then builds trust both ways. As a business owner yourself, what's the win-win-win situation for you is that you're building trust so that you know you can delegate, that you know your team does have your back, that you know your team is aligned in your vision and understands clear expectations, and you're helping to move that forward. So the only way you reach that next level is if you take things a step further and you start to bring your team into your world, understand your compelling, vivid vision, and then support and their growth so that you can start to delegate over time. That's where the shift really happens, I think, the most with mindset shifts, because business owners will ask me all the time. They'll say, I know I need to delegate. I don't want to. I'm worried to. I'm worried to let go of this. You don't have that. When you have a clear vision, you have clarity, you know what you're working towards, and you know your team is on the bus with you.
Right. And what you have to do in order to give your team member that autonomy and to build trust is clear systems. And
Mhm.
that's where a lot of us really get stuck.
Yeah.
So when you have a system to deliver and a system to run the admin in your business, all of the things, when systems and SOPs are set up, then you have the opportunity to delegate more effectively. And I want to just make sure everyone is understanding you don't have need to have the system perfected before you hand it off to a team member. So,
Mhm.
a funny story, I'll just share what as it relates and what this looks like for us in our team. I just took over something that Dr. Sabrina's been doing for, I don't know, almost 20 years. And her goal was to just hand this completely off to me, and we've been really working on this for quite a while. And last week or 2 weeks ago, I finalized really working on learning the deliverable and everything that I needed to know in the background. So I finished up all of my training and communicating back and forth with Dr. Sabrina. And then this week, I had this space because she's on vacation. She's on her, I don't know, what is it, 6 or 7 weeks vacation. And it's funny because we were talking about this on the podcast last time. But as I sat back and reflected and delivered this deliverable yesterday to one of our clients, I thought, this system is way too complex. Like, we are keeping internally several different documents, and then we're delivering to our clients several different documents. How can I make this more effective for our clients primarily, and then for us? And as as I prepared for this meeting, I literally condensed everything down in maybe a fourth of how it had been set up and been being done in years. And I'm like, wow, this just feels so much easier. And I just cut down so many different steps in this process. And now it would be so much easier to train someone. But that's just an example of the business owner holding something to themselves and not really having a clear system mapped out, because let's face it, when it lives in our head, there's not really a clear process, right? We just go in and do the thing.
Yes.
However, when we do bring in a team member to help us and give them autonomy, so that's the key, give them autonomy to help strengthen the system in a way that works for them and for the rest of the team, that's when the magic really happens. Because I probably cut down the amount of time that it takes by about 2 hours.
Wow. That's incredible. That's incredible.
So now she doesn't have to do it anymore. And
Mhm.
it's systematized so much that it would be so easy to bring in team members and teach them how to do it. And our clients are getting so much more than they did before and so much easier. So this is just a perfect example of being able to be a better leader and be more effective, and you don't have to hold everything to yourself as the business owner. Get your buy-in from your team member. Goes right back to that vision, right?
Mhm.
So the other thing that business owners that are really successful do is they determine what the sweet spot of their business is.
Mm.
So if you don't have a sweet spot, meaning you're just saying, "Hey, here's what I do," and I'm doing it these different ways, and you really don't understand where the profit is in your business, and that's the keyword profit, because revenue does not equal profit. Um, when you have that sweet spot clearly defined, now you're profitable. Now you can create systems, run with the best team members, and make the best revenue, profit, and revenue, and then you can really grow and innovate around the sweet spot. And what we do together is we take a look at where is the sweet spot. So where is that ideal offer actually lying that all of your top clients and customers love? And then how do we kick it up a notch? So how do we innovate around that? So two great stories that just happened this week, Kaitlyn, that make me so happy. And I tell our clients, like when they come in, I'm like, I'm here to help you work less and make more profit.
Yeah.
But that's not my passion. My passion is to give you a better life.
Mhm.
So if I give you a better life and you're spending more time doing the things that you feel matter most to you with the people who matter most, I've done my job successfully. And that is my core mission here. As a bonus, the business is going to thrive, right? So just twice this week, we identified the sweet spot in two businesses, and the revenue, one's revenue has increased by 35% in 6 months, and the other, we just doubled. We doubled the revenue. And not only did we double the revenue, we cut the time the business owner is working by 50%. So she's working half as much, and her salary just increased that. Can you imagine? That's just life changing.
I can imagine because our clients experience it every day being inside of a program where they have a coach, they have you to help them think strategically because they're so in the day to day. They need someone to really pull out the bigger picture.
Mm-hmm.
But sweet spot identification is typically the number one issue or indicator that I see in an assessment as to why business owners are experiencing so much overwhelm and tension in the business. So paint a picture now that these business owners, you just shared, one cut their time in half and doubled. What are they experiencing now that their sweet spot has been identified? They dialed this in and they're experiencing these results.
Their bills are getting paid. They have team members that are doing the work that they didn't want to do. They're spending more time with their family. So, this is what the best business owners are really focused on. They're peeling back and saying, let's go back and look at the foundation. Why did we start this business?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of life do we want? What kind of life do we want our team members to have? And based on everything that we know of the years that we've been in business, how can we look at this and say, okay, where's my sweet spot now? And the way that we do this is that we take a look at who are our top clients, what do they have in common, what are they asking us for, and we actually interview them and we ask them, like, what is it that you appreciate about us and what we provide, and what would you like us to offer? How could we better serve you? And there's so much gold in there, because really it becomes an opportunity for you to grow your profit, keep your customers happy. Then you're happy, right? You fall back in love with your business, because likely if you're working a crazy amount of hours, you're not in love with your business anymore. There's very few. Some people like to work that much, but there's not very many. But really, we're just looking for those opportunities for you to figure out what the gaps are and what the opportunities are. So we just dial right into those opportunities and say, okay, now what? And that's the thing. Having a coach is so important. because you need that strategic thinking partner. You need someone who's not in the day to day and in the emotion of your business and life, and someone who could look outside of the big picture and say, "Here's what I see," and help you think through that. Um,
Love that, Melissa. If today's conversation had you thinking, I can totally relate to this, I want to experience these results, don't let that awareness, that drive fade when this episode ends. Take one small step forward that can lead you towards the biggest change, not just in your business, but as Melissa said, in your life. That's why we're here. We're here to design sustainably profitable businesses. Why? Because we want you to be able to spend time doing what matters most and experience what it's like to have that fulfilling and profitable life.
mhm.
Created the Better Business, Better Life assessment because most business owners are trying to solve the wrong problem, right? This assessment helps you identify what the biggest constraints are that are really keeping your business from supporting your life. In about 10 minutes, you can walk away with a clear picture of where to focus next. Head on over to tapthepotential.com/assessment. Take the assessment, and I will reach out to you myself so that we can determine where are the gaps, where are the strengths, and how do you build a better business so you can have a better life. Bye for now, everyone. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.